Hello again, guys and gals. I am Jim Bob. Welcome back to Massey Manor. We're bringing our cedar back to the farmhouse. We've got a couple of small fields that we need to get underway. Looks like a drink there. Try and keep the old vocal cords lubricated. And I think we're going to plant sunflowers. We haven't planted sunflowers on any of our farms yet, so here we go. This is a farming first on this channel. We're going to do some sunflowers. Just need to add in the fertilizer now, which should be around the corner. And is blocked by the harvester. Lovely. We can still get in there. There we go. Trying to see where's the bit that opens up. It is there at the back. Look, there we go. So we've got field 4, a small field over here, and we've also then got field 5, which is through that gate and down the path just over there as well. These are the two fields that we need to get done. So let's put a couple of manual headlands in first of all. Oh, he's really struggling up this hill. The terrain won't help, given that it's ploughed ground. That will obviously cause us to slip and slide a little bit, as you can see there, digging in. If you haven't experienced the For Real mods yet, I do encourage you to do so. They do make a real difference to the way that you play. The ground response and the crop destruction make you approach the game in different ways. The wheel dirt is, the tire dirt mod is more of a cosmetic mod. It doesn't really do much. It just makes your wheels get really muddy really quickly when you're driving on dirt, and then we'll clean some of that mud off when you drive back on a hard surface like a concrete road again. But beyond that, it doesn't do anything else. It's just a cosmetic mod rather than anything that directly affects the terrain or the crops that are growing. But as I say, the other two mods, I use all three of them every single time I play. I absolutely love them. I know there are some people out there who've had some issues with them, and I don't really know what causes that sort of instability on some people. I remember that when these were first launched, it did cause a lot of PlayStations to constantly crash the game when the mods were active. But that was patched, and I haven't had a stability problem since then. The game occasionally crashes anyway, but it did that before those mods were even released, so it's just a real rare occurrence when that does happen. But I was speaking to a buddy of mine, and he said that he'd installed the For Real mods for the first time in a while, and he was fine with the terrain mod and the tire dirt mod, but crop destruction still kept causing his game to crash. And I have no idea why. I really have no idea why, because everything should be up to date. His system is up to date. His game is up to date. I don't know why it's causing him those issues, but I've told him he should email Giants and see what they say. Maybe there's something that he can do that they'll be able to advise him on their end. Oh, look at this struggling up the hill. See if we can get in. You can see that wheel spinning and slipping in the mud. Not sure how well you'll see it on that angle. Let's try this side. I think the other thing that the For Real mods, in terms of the ground response mod, has done as well is really help improve the illusion of ploughed fields. You'll see that the wheel sinks into the field. Right there, look. You can see it's actually sunk into the field. If I get out, it sinks in, and it really helps create the illusion of uneven terrain where it looks like it's sunk into a furrow. And I love that. I absolutely love that. We turned on, yes. There we go. Go along the top. There we go. Been watching a lot of British TV on Netflix this last week or two. There seems to have been a little explosion of British TV shows suddenly pop up on the UK Netflix, and so I've been watching some of those. I've been watching Absolutely Fabulous. I used to love watching that when it was on TV the first time around, and so I didn't see all of it. I only saw bits here and there. So it's kind of nostalgia. I'm able to go back and watch a lot of the episodes that I missed, and enjoy the ones that I had seen before again. And it's been a long time since I'd seen them, so it's almost like getting to see them for the first time on quite a lot of episodes, because I don't really remember them that well. It was so long since I've seen them. I've also been watching Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, two very old shows there from the very early 90s. Really enjoyed those. Good to see them again. And I'm currently watching Lead Balloon with Jack D, a stand-up comedian. I enjoyed Lead Balloon, but I never really got to see a huge run of it. I was working a lot when it was on, so I kept missing it, and I was terrible at remembering to set anything to record it. So I've been watching that recently as well, and been watching season 3 of Better Call Saul, and hate the fact that Netflix have made that a weekly release, just like they did with Designated Survivor. It means I can only watch one episode a week, and I have to wait until the next one is available, and I hate watching TV like that now. I've said it before a number of times on the channel, I'm just so used to binge watching now that it becomes difficult to to go back to watching normally. I'm so used to in this age of box sets on demand, and TV seasons and shows on DVDs. You're just so used to watching an entire season over a space of days rather than weeks or even months, depending on the length of the season. To go back to that form of viewing it's almost a shock to the system. And one of the things I tend to struggle with my Asperger's is that I tend to settle into a routine, and it's very hard to change that routine. And once I get comfortable with the way things are, I stay very comfortable within it, and I don't do anything to change. Even if a change could be beneficial, I will just tend to, I'm quite comfortable just doing this, so I'm going to keep on just doing this. And it makes me almost seem very, very stubborn when I can have a stubborn streak, but more often than not, it's not so much stubbornness that prevents me from making changes. It's just not wanting to change a routine, because it's something that's comfortable. We Asperger's sufferers don't tend to be overly flexible when it comes to change. And once we get used to something, we stay used to it. Alright, we should be in a position now where we can leave this guy to finish the rest of the field for us. Hopefully we won't end up with lots of little patches everywhere. I think I just left one there. Let's get him lined up and underway. Now we were going to look at sheep. That's something we talked about in the last episode. So let me see what equipment I actually have, because I don't even think I have a water trailer or a way of delivering grass to the sheep. Just trying to keep this line nice and tidy, and I keep finding broken lines where my manual seeding is not up to scratch. And I don't think the seed is even turned on, is it? I've just driven over the top of that with with the switched off seeder. There we go. Let's fill that gap in. Alright, so let's create an overlap. There we go. Now we're cooking. So, shop, garage. What do we own? We're not seeing. Nope, there's no water trailer. So we're going to have to buy a water trailer. That's a given. We have mowers, but we don't have a forage wagon. So we're going to need one of those. So we're looking at 31,000 for that. How much is the water trailer? That's another 10,000. So we're looking at 40,000 already. That means we're down to 80. We need to keep probably about 40,000, 30 to 40,000 to cover expenses for the seeding. Let's say 30,000. We've got 50,000 basically to spend on sheep. So let's head on over. That's only going to be, I think sheep are 4,000 each. It's only going to be 12 sheep. Hardly seems worth getting started on sheep for just 12 of them. Controls are a little screwed up for me at the moment. I've been playing some Grand Theft Auto for the first time in ages today, and I kept I kept pressing square to get into my vehicles on Grand Theft Auto, because you press square to get into your vehicles on Farming Sim, and instead of getting in, I just climbed on top of my vehicle and just stood there like an idiot. And I did that I played for several hours, and I just kept doing it all throughout the gaming session. Just kept jumping up on the vehicle instead of climbing in it. Yeah, see, we're looking at 12 sheep. That's it. That's all we can afford is 12 sheep. It's not much. It's really not much at all. We will start to produce a little bit of wool. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's buy some sheep, because we can always do some silage baling again, and we can even do some contracting work to raise some additional funds. So let's buy the equipment that we need. What else was it we needed? We need loading wagon. That was it. Where is the loading wagons? There we go. Just get the small one. That's all we'll need. So let's get our other tractor back out of storage. Let's go down and pick up fact, actually, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and a little bit lazy here. I'm actually going to reset them because they'll end up in a field next to our, our sheep farm. Instead of going all the way down to the map to the shop, and then coming all the way back up again, just for the, to be able to have to carry these one at a time. That's 2 long trips. We're just going to reset them to field 23. There we go. And then we'll head on over there and transport them back onto the farm itself. So that leaves us with 29,000, and I'm going to put some of that in the bank now, just so that it covers our loan costs a little bit better. Yeah, it helps reduce how much we're going to get charged at the end of the night, which will be a lot, because it is a fully maxed out loan, or it was a fully maxed out loan. And it also means, that money is available to withdraw again, rather than just getting frittered away on interest payments. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to have to do another round of silage baling. So this is why I wanted another tractor, because we're going to need this one to seed, and we've got 4 fields to seed. So we can't do grass cutting or anything like that while we're using this to seed, because the other tractor just isn't powerful enough. Little swig of drink again. Alright, so we're hooked up to the loading wagon. Oh, I forgot to check for traffic. Oh, what the heck? How the hell did we end up all the way? Whoops. I forgot just how vicious the traffic is on Colborough. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. That would have been a very expensive crash in real life. More so for the car driver than the tractor driver, but even so, a very expensive crash. So, where can we park this? There's got to be somewhere we can put this. What is down there? Oh, it's my bell wrapper, isn't it? Looks like we've got a little bit of a shed around here as well. Yes, there we go. We'll plop that in there. There we go. So let's go get our water trailer. We can at least give some water to our sheep, and we may as well do a quick mow and grab while we have this tractor down here as well, so that we can give them some grass. So we just churned up a little bit of the grass field there, but that's not too much of an issue. Alright, so now I need to find the water pump down here. Let's put the lights on full blast, full beam. See if I can spot the water pump. There's got to be one down here somewhere. Is this a water tank here? No. Maybe it's over here by the fuel. Yes, there we go. It's these stacked containers by the look of it. There's one of the nuggets that we have to ignore because we can't collect them all. It's a shame that, you know, that still hasn't been patched after all this time. I think it's a clear indication that it never will be patched. You know, we've discussed it in the past and don't really want to rake over old ground, but yeah, you can't help but feel as though, you know, as a console player, you're a second-class citizen when something is broken, and there's a clear indication that it's never going to be fixed because it's not worth his time. Yeah. Right, so how do we get in to actually feed them water? Where do we feed them water? It's going to be through here, I'm guessing. Let's hop over and have a look, actually. See if we can find where is the water trough. Is this it? Or is this a feed trough? That's a feed trough. I think. Not even sure if it is a feed trough, actually. So this, oh no, they're both here, look. So this is the grass trailer here, trough here. This is the water trough here. Okay, so. Ooh. Let's try and back up a little bit. Why won't it let me unload? I'm right on top of it. Why won't it let me unload? This is the sheep, isn't it? Where's the marker? The trigger marker. Let's try the other end of the trailer. Or the other end of the trough. No, there's no... How do I give them water? That's the water trough. Why won't it let me feed them? Oh, that's annoying. If they won't take water there, where are they supposed to take water? Yeah, see, that looks like a grass trough to me. That looks like the water trough to me, but why are they not active? Don't tell me I've got to come in this way. That'd be a nightmare if that's the case. Oh, damn it. Just picked up a nugget. Oh, hang on. I've got no water in the trailer. Thought I... Oh, did I just refuel? Oh, I didn't add water. I just refueled. No wonder it's not let me unload water. I haven't got any water in the bloody trailer. So in that case, we still need to find the water pump. Okay. I thought those were the water pump there for a second then. Alright, where are you, water pump? Is there even water down here? You know, I honestly don't know. I've spent so little time on this map. And what time I did spend was a long time ago. I don't actually know if there is a water tap down here somewhere. I hope there is. Really hope there is. And I'll have to drive all the way back to the other farm to collect water to come back again. And I don't want to have to waste any more money by buying a water tower. I'm not seeing it anywhere. I'm really not. Let's turn the lights on. That's my fertiliser. That's my seed. You see, I would have thought that was a water tank. But I didn't see a prompt pop up for it. Let's try again. No, there's no prompt there, so it looks as though there is no water down. Oh, that's a nightmare. There's no water down at this end of the farm. I guess we go back. I'm going to get loads of messages in the comments now saying, oh, it's there. Yeah, you missed it. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind if there is a water tap down there and I have driven straight past it a number of times. Please let me know where it is. I can't believe that. I'll hold off on installing a water tower down there, but because I guarantee the second I do that, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find where the pump is. Yeah, that's a real frustration, though. That is, it's a real pain. So, yeah, we'll top this up with some water. We'll take it back down. We'll move that other tractor over to the other field and try and get that started. Although we may have to do that one manually. See there, look, there's a water refill point. Nice and easy to find. I can't believe how much time you wasted just driving around like that. I would really, really love to have something like a disco mod for this farm. You know, a Range Rover Discovery. I think it would be an awesome addition to this farm. I know that they're out there on PC. Whether someone will make one that is submittable to console, even if it means, you know, not using the Land Rover branding and maybe changing the image of it ever so slightly. I would still love to have one of those on this farm. It would just be the ideal vehicle for us to be able to run around with a little water trailer attached behind it, or a fuel trailer, or whatever we needed to use it for, to go off and do some contract work. You know, I don't like using the pickup trucks because up until Outback came out, we didn't have a single American map, and yet, you know, we only had American trucks. It just seemed like a silly little thing, you know, and we got one additional vehicle, and lo and behold, it was an American muscle car. The Mustang. Or the Rampage, I believe the mod version of it is called, to get around licensing issues. There we go. All that effort just for a tiny little bit of water. It's quite sad, really. So let's park up our water trailer. Let's feed our sheep. So we'll get a front mower attached. Come back and get the trailer. those back there out of the way. And let's hook up to our loader. The Euroboss. Alright, so now we need to go pick on a field. Let's go attack field 23, our spawn field. Let's see if we get attacked by cars again. We're clear. Look how far. We just slightly bumped into it, and look how far it bumped us back. The traffic is so dangerous here. If it keeps up, I may end up just turning it off and be done with it. I'd rather not do that. Alright, so let's start cutting some grass. I'm more than happy to just fill this thing up and then not have to worry about filling it up again for ages. We can then use the small tractor to just shunt the grass back and forth, or shunt the trailer back and forth. We'll leave the grass in it. Try and take a nice sweeping turn here so we don't end up with strips of grass left in the field. Always bugs me when you cut a swath and then you turn and you don't pick it up because the angle is different. Oh, God, we're crashing into everything tonight. So take another wide-ish turn. We're still leaving trails of grass behind us. Lovely. Just trying to avoid doing that. Never mind. Done it again on that corner. We'll tidy up at the end. So what map are you guys playing on? Are you on Outback with me, as your main farm? Are you still on one of the earlier maps? I know there are some people out there that still love playing on Lawfolds, even though that map has been out for quite a long time now. There are others out there that have kind of restarted on the old stream now that that's been upgraded with that extra field space. I must admit I have toyed with the idea of moving Fent Farm over there, but I just enjoy the Drummard Farm map too much to want to uproot that one just yet. Maybe in the future. Maybe we might move over to Old Streams. Speaking of Old Streams, actually, Black Sheep did actually release another preview image. It was just basically just a reminder that, hey, we're working on another map. Was pretty much all they said. Don't forget, the old stream. Sorry, not the old stream. The Valley, the Old Farm, is the name of the map. It's a bit of an odd name. The Valley, the Old Farm. But it may be that something is lost in translation. They are not, native English speakers. They are from somewhere in Europe. I'm not entirely sure where. And English is certainly not their main language. They do tend to get a lot of French comments, so I do wonder if maybe the team is French, or at least a couple of the members are French. But yeah, they basically released another image today, or a couple of days ago, saying, the Valley, the Old Farm, and the same details that they released when they first mentioned it a couple of months back, basically saying it's going to be a full-sized normal map, and there's no work in progress date on it or anything at all yet. That's it. That's all they said. It's being worked on. No release date, to be mentioned at all, and that it will be a full map rather than a small version of the map like Old Streams and Drummard, which only use small portions. So I'm curious as to what they're going to do. Whether they're going to stick with the very small, tight style of farm that they did with Old Stream. It's a lot of fun, that farm. It can be a little bit frustrating at times, a little bit tricky. It's certainly, when you're playing on hard, can be very difficult to make money in the early stages, because it is such a compact farm and the fields are very small. It's not until you start combining some fields together, or with the new version you've got those big larger fields to actually get a decent crop size, or return on your crops. A lot of work is involved on that farm to actually make some serious money, which is good. It's a complete change of pace, which is why it's such a popular map. It's not like Lawfolds, where you have really big fields where you can make a lot of money. You've got to put a lot of work in, but you'll get a lot of money back in return. In the Old Stream, you've got to put a lot of work in and you won't get a lot of money back. You'll get enough to keep you going, but it's a real slog, to get that farm making some serious profit. And that's it's a nice change of pace. It's designed, I think, for small equipment as well, small to medium-sized equipment. It's not designed for you to use large equipment on. Obviously, the update changes things a little bit. I'm kind of curious as to why they did it as well. I get the expansion, in terms of adding new fields to the map, but the expanded fields were so big in comparison to everything else. I kind of wonder why they were made so big. I'm kind of wondering what prompted that decision. Because you basically would end up just working those fields over and over again, and focusing a lot less on the rest of the farm, because you wouldn't have any real need to use those small fields now, because you wouldn't get much in the way of crop from them. Why waste all the time, effort and money of planting, ploughing, harvesting and fully fertilising tiny little fields for little to no reward, when you've got some really big monster fields that you can just work and get a substantial reward from. So yeah, it just seems a little odd to me. I'm not entirely sure why they did it in that respect. It kind of goes against the whole design of the rest of the map. You've got these small tight fields, and then they throw in this expansion, and all of the expanded fields are huge by comparison. It doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the style of the map. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it doesn't seem quite right to me. I think they could have added in more fields, made them smaller, and then maybe given you the option of perhaps ploughing them together, rather than just giving you 3 huge fields. Because even the grass field that they give you as well is massive. So it just seems a little bit odd. Bit of an odd choice. Alright, so I need to drop the front mower there. Turn around. Connect up. There we go. Mowers are put away. So our 12 little sheep are now fed and watered for the next 6 days. We don't have to come back down here for a little while now until we need to do the silage baling, and we've got other fields to plant first before that'll happen. So what I may do is I may do some seeding work off camera, just to speed things forward a little bit. We're gonna need to do some contract work as well to raise a bit of money, and obviously we've got some silage baling we're gonna need to do as well. So, plus we still have that other small field that needs planting as well with sunflowers, field 5. Have we got time to do that this episode? No, not really. We've only got about 3 or 4 minutes left, so we'll make a start. Am I indicating? I am, aren't I? Let's turn that off. We'll make a start on the next small field. And then we'll transition the episode. So let's park that up there. Need to top up with seed. And we are absolutely fine on fertiliser. Ooh, is that a unplanted patch? It is. That's a point I didn't check to see if we had any of those on the field. Let's do a quick inspection. We're looking pretty good. I think it was just that one little patch. Yeah, looks like it. Looks pretty good to me. Just have to tidy this line up as well, covered up by a tyre track. Turn on, lower. There we go. Perfect. Right, so yeah, let's get some more seed and then we'll head over to the next field and get started. I could perhaps even have just hired one of these seeders, thinking about it, instead of buying one. It's not that expensive. It saves us having to buy it again. It certainly won't be any use to us when it comes to planting on those other fields. It's just too small at just 3 meters to work those fields. Way too small. Close the gates, get pushed out the way, because we are hitting everything tonight. So lower, turn on, and off we go. Oh, look how we're struggling on this ground. Look at those wheels just spinning and skidding. It's such a steep little hill and just no traction. We might have to actually break out the 87 for this field. Look how he's struggling. He really does not want to get does not like going up this hill. Look how steep it is and look how those wheels are spinning. There we go. It's such a weird field when it comes to trying to hire a worker as well. The way it's shaped, it's almost impossible to use the AI on this field, or at least to use them effectively anyway. You know, gaps everywhere. So this is really a kind of field that you need to do yourself. Probably not the smartest decision to do it at this time of night either, when it's really hard to see what I'm doing. Because it gets so dark on this map that even with the full lights on, you get very small patches that you can see quite clearly, and everything else you really struggle. Oh well, time's up for this episode, so I'll carry on seeding this one, and then I'll rejoin when as it's coming to a finish at the start of the next episode. So thank you all for watching. My name's Jim Bob. I will catch you back on the farm very soon.